Right, so it's now time to do a little bit of detail work. So what we're going to do, we're going to paint using a little bit of hand painting for the brass straps. Go around the edge of our oil tanks. Oh, we've got the servo one, that ain't no good. So we'll do that both sides. Just like so. This is just the strapping that goes on. So keep that nice and tidy like that. And we've got our little tips to go on here and on the top. Actually the whole thing is painted, so I'll just do that, making sure it's neat, which that one is. I can go away. We'll come again from our side view. Just paint the line. Bear with me. Sorry if I'm not speaking very much, but this is quite a... Doing it on camera when I've normally got my head right over top of it to see what I'm doing isn't the easiest thing to do. To get a nice straight line is, from this distance, from my eyes, just nigh on impossible, but we'll get there. Straight over the top, catch the top, bit more around. Okay, right. So we've got our little top bit to paint. And just a little bit more. How much did I do on that one? I'd just like to see what I'm up to. You need to pull that back all the way down like so, and again on this side. Looks good, that's fine, I'm happy with that. They're all looking good. Right, so that's that colour for now. Put that out of the way. Now we have got some brown which we're going to mix up, but we'll mix that up later. In fact, I'm actually going to use, I know exactly what I'm looking for. Whether it's in here somewhere. Should be. Doodly doo. Where's that gone? Ah, there it is. That's what I'm looking for. Somebody said you can't hand brush with Alclad too. Well, this is to prove they're probably right. Now this is to prove that hopefully they're wrong. Because what we're going to do now is just get the first coat on. Don't go over it twice, because the thinners in this is quite strong and it will take it all out. All we're going to do is just run it up and round. As you can see, the thinners is making the paint a little bit opaque. Leave that to dry. We'll come back to that one. Where's the seat gone? The seat is fine, it just needs the armrests. Like so. Do you see that? Or am I in the way? The seat rests are good. So it's just that and that seat pad we've got on the front of this part. Should be all we need to paint. Just to that's it. Right, so here we are again, and it's detail day. So what we're going to do first, we're going to paint the wheels on our legs that are already there. We've already painted everything else we need to paint. We just need to get some black rubber onto the wheels themselves. Normally I would spray these with Alclad Tyre Black, but as they have to be put on the hubs to build everything up, I decided this time to just hand paint them. It's very rare I use other people's paints. So all I've done there, I've got the paint in the lid and I've added a little bit of Vallejo airbrush cleaner. What this does, it helps the paint just run around. So all you do, I've got your paint, make sure you can see this, and all we do is we just touch the paint to the edge of the rim, and as you can see it just flows round, so you haven't got to go so close. So just touch and flow, let it go, and that'll fill in the rim just as we need it to. What the airbrush thinner does, it just breaks up the surface tension a little. I don't know if you can see that, but that's gone all the way around. Let's put this in a bit closer. See it all the way around, so we've now got that rim painted exactly how we want to. It's a little bit awkward because of the way it holds up, to be truthful. And we'll just bring it in, and that's basically our one side of our wheel painted. And we'll just draw the paint. And also with Tamiya paint, you'll find that it's not the easiest in the world to hand brush. With the airbrush thinner, as I said, it does thin it slightly. It allows it to flow a little bit better, and you can then just paint in the area that you want it painted without any overflow or spillage, and it allows that way so you don't get brush marks everywhere. And it's just a case of painting in. All I'm doing is drawing any extra paint to the side of the wheel and making sure we're all nicely covered. So I don't know why I'm doing that. Right, here we go. I can see what I'm doing then. So, like I said, we're just painting around the edge of the wheel. The paintbrush is turning the tyre. If you get it too heavy, don't worry, it will level out. So we're just touching it over. So that's that side done. Just on the other side, just to get the paint into it. As I said, it will self-level to a certain extent. There we go. Sounds like the wife's got the hoover out. I don't know if it'll be picked up or not, but hey ho. Not a lot I can do about it today. Oh, she stay out of here, I don't mind. And that's our wheel picked out on that one. Now I'm just going to put the brush down, clean that brush up, oop, hit my head on it, and bring you right in as far as I can, like so. Now we've got some areas here which are pipe work. What we're going to do, we're going to get a much smaller brush, just paint out that pipe work. So we're using exactly the same paint because it's rubber, and we're just going to drag it around a little bit, and because we're using acrylic, we can just clean it up, and it should dry nicely just like that. So that'll be fine. And then we've got our top bit, we'll just color that over, and again all we're doing is just touching it and letting the paint flow over the area, and that'll give us a nice defined area for the paint. As I say, just drag it down just a little bit at the top there, take the paint off, and that's that one wheel done. So I'll do the other one and I'll come back. Right, so we've got all our rubber work done. Now what we're going to do, we're just going to use some, again, Tamiya. I don't like using that, but there you go. And we're just going to highlight the areas where the hydraulics are, just so that that's a little bit of a different colour and a bit of detail added overall. So anything extra with the rams and anything, which all looks good. Yep, that's fine. So it's only that one little piece. And on this one, which is fairly dry now, just little pieces, just a little bit of detail work, just to add a little bit of more interest into what is a fantastic undercarriage set, I must admit. That looks good. Okay, that can go away for a little while. And what we're going to do now, clean that up. And I have got some old clad black up there, which is brushable stuff. what we're going to do this time is just use Tamiya black just to highlight the areas that are inside our nose. So we're just drawing the paint across. This time it's full thickness, so we're just being ever so careful on how we pick everything out. And painting it nice and tight to the edge, letting the paint flow around how it wants to. Just keeping the paint close to the edge but not quite touching, and you still get the effect of it all being painted, just slightly differently, just like so. So that's that bit, and there are other parts on here to paint. This brush is a little bit too heavy for doing the detail work. Let's clean that up. Get myself my normal little brush out and I can find it. Which I use for detail work. That will do us. Okay. Let's just get a small amount on the brush and pick out our fascias like so. Okay, other little bits we can pick out. This paint is very, very thick. I've had that a long while, so just looking. And all we're doing, as I say, just picking out the detail for the first step of detailing our model up. Like so. That was a different colour, so we'll leave that. Some other stuff there which we can move on to different paint in a little while. And the other, we've got the yoke to paint. We'll do that now. Take it off. We'll leave it on there. Be easier to paint. So we've got our yoke. I'll paint it just to how it goes. Being very careful to get it into the right position. The front, the rear will be painted in silver. So all we're doing at the minute is painting our top yoke. How it needs to be done. So just getting everything in, just how we need to. Looking good. Okay, just touch that. Right, our other parts, just keep looking around, seeing what you've got. So this has got to be painted in black. Our area with the trim wheel and everything else. And I suppose you could see that. There you go. And I'm just painting literally. We're going to come in again with some metals in a few moments to finish that off. That looks good. Okay, we've got the other nose section, which again, this piece here is black, and we're just painting that all through what we need to paint, picking out all the individual stuff, leaving the levers because they're going to be dry brushed. We've got our bomb sight. Again, that needs to be painted. Like so. And all we're doing, I say, is just drawing the paint along to where it needs to be, up to the front. Underneath, because it will show from the front. Every bit. And that's getting there. And then we'll so just drawing the paint across just to detail it all up nicely. And then we'll leave this to dry for a little while once this is done. I know that this is black, so we're painting that black and the bit in the middle. There's an oxygen bottle there, we'll have to paint that a different colour. That looks good to me. So we'll leave that to dry for a little while, then we'll come back and put some more colouring on. Right, so we're back into it again. We've got some other smaller parts to detail up ready, which are the transceivers, the receiver and the transceiver. So we're going to start off with some red, which is what Tamiya's call out for as such. So we're going to get our transmitter, check on all our codes and colours or where they go. Just checking, so it's the two middle ones. Okay, so that button is red. Up there, I'll get a bit, and of course this side is red. Let's give it a little bit more, brighten it up a bit. So that's the start, whether you can see that or not. Hang on. No, we can't see that, but hey ho. I'll get that closer up, sorted later. So that's that bit for red. Then we go on to part of the cockpit, which we have XF7 red again.
You don't go see Mum and Dad, do you?
No.
They're going.
Good luck.
Polly's going.
That's fine, that's fine. Dad will love her.
Yeah.
Right, so as I say, we're just picking out the red of our bottle. Presumably this is an extinguisher of some description. So pick that bit out, no problem. Just looking at all our references again. Making sure we're not missing anything in particular. That all looks quite nice. We've got some red on the... Excuse me for keep checking these, because it's literally I haven't got the slightest idea of the colour inside the cockpit, and so I'm having to go by Tamiya's instructions. Here we go, that's what I'm looking for, our nose section, so I can see what's good in here and what isn't. So we've got, let me just bring this light over a bit better. So we've got our more extinguishers at the front to paint in. Just letting the paint flow around rather than painting it on. And we'll... Sorry, I hold my breath. Just to get those red bottles nicely painted in, to make sure they look good and how we want them. That's it, just across like so. Checking everything else. Anything else is XF7. No, no, no. Right. We've got to come back in with the black. I did miss some. I should have checked the references before. It just shows you that, you know, I am doing everything as we go. So hopefully you won't make the same mistakes I do. So we've got a decal to go on there, but we're going to aqua gloss these shortly. So that should allow me to put everything else in that I need. Right, so now it's the outside of this wheel. Not going through. So that we've got the background of the wheel showing through. Not as easy to do. Make sure you can see what I'm doing. My hand is in the way. Oh yeah, right. And all we're doing is just lightly detailing it up, getting everything that I want painted, looking great there. Okay, just looking again. So we're looking on that door. That door stays as that is, and that'll take a hit. So looking at this bit, so we've missed off the letterbox, or what looks like a letterbox. So we just run and paint over. You find with Tamiya paint, to hand brush it, you'll need to push it more than pull it. This has been so heavily thinned in the past that I can get away with pulling it along. And that is that bit. I'm quite happy with those. So next parts to do will be XF2. Feels weird using Tamiya paints. I can't remember the last time I opened a bottle of Tamiya paint, to be truthful. But we're coming in now with some white. Let's sort my brush out. And we've gone back to the transceiver box because there's no white in that nose. There we go. Excuse me. XF2. Right, so we've got, this is our receiver, the radio receiver. So we've got two white buttons here, like so. Doodly doo. I lost the plot, I can't see it now. And we have the area in the dial. So all we're going to do with this dial, as a centre dial, all we're going to do is just touch. I'm going to put enough paint on the brush, whoop, so it should touch and just flow around the edges. That's the idea. Not easy. Just getting it round. That's that. And then we've got one more button just there. Now what we'll do now is leave that ready for a dry brush. Oh, I forgot. Losing the plot here completely today. We've got two buttons on here, one that top, getting it nice, one at the bottom. That's our white done with. And then I've got our XF3 yellow. Just to add the other two buttons in is what it calls for. Just nicely. Now we'll put them away to dry because we'll be coming back to those later. And we're looking in our little box just to see if we can pick off the odd switch. So we don't want too much. And then we're going back to our silver now, and we're going to pick up just some of our levers and our top of our just to pick up some few bits. And we've got a bottle there to be painted. We'll dry brush those ones in. So that's looking good. I don't know why I did that. Thinking ahead. So we'll put that to one side again. See, as things dry, we're just picking out the rest of the areas. There you go, that's those. I'm going to dry brush that. We've got this piece just to sort out now. So we've got our banding, holding on our extinguisher. And so on. Just painting that in, that's nice. And then we've got our front bit of banding on, holding our extinguisher on here. So I keep holding my breath, it's not a good idea. Just like so, and I'm happy with that. Oh, we've still got another bit to do that I'd forgotten about, which is our bit of piping, just to go around. Just like so, and the rest will be dry brushed. So just to finish off on this part, we'll come back in with the red and just put a red on the dot there. We'll have a little bit of red on that controller and that one. And then we've got white to go on there as well. My brush is playing up today for some reason. So we'll just paint this top bit white. And this bit at the bottom. There we go. Right. So while that's all drying up, we'll start on the bombs.